Hi everyone. Wanted to make a quick video. I got a request from Beetle Brad, and he was showing some of the Deccagone 45s that were released in the 1970s, and they were on colored vinyl. And he wanted to take a look at mine and see if he was missing any, or I guess just to see what I got. Now, I think I may be missing maybe one. There's one that I'm not sure of that I think came out, and I think I've seen it around. I don't have it, but let's get to this, and I'll explain a little bit about it before I do. Um, this is special to me because when I started out first collecting Beatles stuff, I mean, I was like I don't know, 14 years old, something like that, when I really got into it. And it reminds me back of the 1970s, late 70s, where I had my first experience with my now deceased friend Mike when we went to a bootleg store. It was a record store, but they had a lot of bootlegs. And it was a really big thing back in the 70s to find a shop that had a lot of rarities. And, being like 14 years old, I think actually it's 15 when I got these particular records. I was 15. And I really miss my friend Mike, and I miss those days. But these are significant. I've always kept them because these are the some of the first, maybe the first bootlegs that I ever got of any kind, 45, LP, anything. And I still remember it like it was only yesterday. And meanwhile, it's 1977, so that's going to mean that it's actually 40 years ago this year. So it's actually kind of an anniversary thing too. All right, I rambled on enough about it, and I'm going to start with this one here. This is "Love of the Loved." That's an original song that they performed for the Decca tapes. And Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is on the other side. This particular Deccagone record that I had and still have is on I'm noticing that the colors aren't really being done justice here. It looks different. This is really a pink kind of record. To me, it's photographing more orangey, but that's the one I had for 40 years. Now, what's interesting is all of these come in different colors. Different people can have different colors for the same 45. Somebody else may have it and have a totally different color. Next one I want to show is September in the Rain. And it's got Chic of Araby on side B, or vice versa. And this one is on green vinyl with a kind of yellowish label. Now, next one I'm going to show, we're going back to a original again. And something interesting I'm going to throw in about this, if I remember to, that is, it's the song Like Dreamers Do, and also on the other side is Searchin'. And this particular copy, again, we have like a pink, with a pink label. Now, what I wanted to say about this is, Mark Lewison has written a fantastic book called Tune In that I recommend every Beatle fan read, and he's supposed to be having multiple volumes of this coming out as the years go on. And anyway, this particular song, Like Dreamers Do, he revealed little known information that he researched hard, that actually it's always been said that the Decca tapes, it was so bad, and they are. I mean, I think they are. I think they're very poor. That how they were turned down by Decca, and actually he's discovered research, and by talking to certain people, he found out that Like Dreamers Do, the original song by Lennon and McCartney, well, probably all Paul McCartney, was actually the song that gave them a recording contract, because Ardmore and Beechwood actually wanted to have the publishing rights. So it was discovered that this whole story that had been going on for many years, that supposedly George Martin just signed the Beatles just because he found them interesting personality-wise. Actually, the truth has come now through various accounts, and details that actually Ardmore and Beechwood wanted the publishing rights. They liked one guy in particular, and geez, I'm forgetting him. I think his name is Kim Bennett. Kim Bennett is the man who was interviewed, and Kim Bennett explains that I think he liked Like Dreamers Do. So one of these tracks, which happened to be an original, actually was something that was liked, and it actually made them want to sign the Beatles to Parlophone to get the publishing rights of Lennon and McCartney. Now, why they never recorded Like Dreamers Do, I have no idea. That I don't know whatever happened with that. They never officially recorded it for Parlophone. Well, I hope you found that interesting. I went off on a tangent a little bit. Okay, next up is Sure to Fall and Money. And this particular 45 that I have here is a white label and blue vinyl. Okay, next up, one that I remember playing quite a bit out of the series. I don't know why, it's kind of fun. It's, well, Hello Little Girl, which is often said to be the first song John Lennon wrote, but he actually had written another one, and and you never can recall these things. I think the earliest one was, people can look it up or remember it, I just can't recall it at the second. Calypso Rock? Something about Calypso in the title, I think, is the first thing that was revealed, again, by Mark Lewison, the author and historian, that's the first song Lennon wrote. But anyway, the reason I played this so much was for Three Cool Cats, which I think is a fun cover song that the Beatles did. It's kind of bizarre. And this particular one was on a clear vinyl. It had a green label, and it's on clear vinyl. Okay, now, this was the original copy here that I got in 1977. But I will also say that recently I found another copy. And this particular copy is an interesting variation. Like I said, they're all available with different kinds of labels and colored vinyl. This is a purple label and a blue vinyl, which is kind of interesting. So depending on which one you find, you can have a different color. Okay, I remember really, I was so excited by this back in the day. This is not one of the well, I'll save this for later. Let me put that, go back to that later. This is another one of the Decca ones. This is Besame Mucho, and To Know Him is to Love Him, although they did it, To Know Her is to Love Her. And this is not one that I got in 1977. Everything I showed so far was ones that I got in 77 at the store that day. This is something I've gotten in recent years, and this is one on, it's like a light blue label with a darker blue vinyl. The one I said I'm missing from the series, I think anyway, is probably the one called Crying, Waiting, Hoping. I'm missing, there's one of these out for that, but I've seen it, but I think somehow I don't have it here. Well, I could swear maybe I have it in another box somewhere, but I didn't have it with these. That's one that I also never got in my original thing. Now, going back to 40 years ago, I had picked a copy of this up. This is not the one I had. The one I had is been sold a long time ago. But I'd loved this because it had How Do You Do It, which was very rare then, and Revolution. This version of Revolution, as you can see on the photo here, is actually from the promo film with the Beatles performing Revolution, and that's what's on here, the audio of that film. But the copy that I had back in 1977 was a clear vinyl wax, and this one is not even a colored vinyl at all. This one that I got is actually on a standard black vinyl record. Although something that's included here that I did not have is a little bit of a notation about this. And I should mention too, didn't give him any credit, these are all courtesy of Joe Pope. Joe Pope actually, he talks here about what it is, what these songs are. Joe Pope was a big Beatles guy who had a magazine out, Strawberry Fields Forever fan magazine, and that's really the genesis of these releases, from what I understand, to be honest with you. So I'm dying to get this one again in clear vinyl. Like, and the only reason I say that, besides the fact I like colored vinyl, it reminds me of my original copy, and I really want to have that again. The last one I'm going to show for this video is one again that I did not have in that day. I didn't have it until recently. It's something different completely. This is the Royal Command Performance, and it's got them doing a bunch of songs on there. You can read the song listing there. And I like the color scheme on this one. It's a silver label, and while this looks pink, this is more like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Purplish, kind of. I don't even know colors, man. Violet, I don't know. It's a nice color scheme. Well, anyway, it's been a little longer than I wanted the video to go, but I hope you appreciated that, Brad, and anyone else who was watching. And it was a lot of fun to revisit those records. So thanks, everybody.